Hey there! So this is Coach Nachi, and I am your Live Like You Now coach. I'm your personal development coach. I am called to serve people who want to live more like their unique selves. Not tomorrow, not next week, not in 2 weeks, not just on Monday, not on the beginning of the month, not just on their birthday, but right now. People who want to live like their unique selves right now. People who want to feel joyful, fully human, and feeling at home in themselves and their lives right now, today, this moment, this minute. So, today I want to talk to you about, first before I want to apologize for not being here yesterday. I went to a wedding for a friend of mine, and I could not periscope at the wedding. It was a beautiful affair though, and I wish them many years of happiness. Today I want to talk to you about getting out of a rough patch. It's kind of a horrible segue, but getting out of a rough patch. I have 6 tips on how I personally get out of a rough patch and how I go about handling my rough patches. So I'm sure that they will be of value to you, and I do hope that you find value from them as well. I wrote a blog post about this a bit ago, and it was called How to Get Out of a Rough Patch. And that blog post is on livelikeyounow.com, the blog. So livelikeyounow.com/blog is where you'll find it. Today I'm going to share with you 3 tips, but I don't want to talk about a rough patch. So on the journey to living more like you, there will be setbacks. It's going to happen. There will be challenges, there will be roadblocks, there will be disappointments, there will be seemingly impossible challenges that you're just going to feel overwhelmed by, and they might knock you down a little bit. There will be things that come in your way on your way to living more like you in whatever area of life that you want to live more like you in. Now, getting out of that can seem like a monstrous it sometimes can feel like you won't be able to surpass this roadblock or challenge. You won't be able to conquer it. You won't be able to move forward. And what I want to share with you are 3 tips that will be able to help you through that, and the other 3 are on the blog. There's only so much time I can spend on Periscope. So one of the first things I want to say is, if you've been in a rough patch for a long time, and you know what that means. If you've been in a rough patch for a long time, and you have been in there for so long that you can't even identify that you're in a rough patch, and you say that this is how you've always been, this is how you've always seen the world, this is how you've always life just hates you, life just sucks, life's always been bad to you, I want to ask you the question, since when? Since when did you decide that this was your standard for yourself? When did you decide that this way of life, living in this rough patch, was the way you wanted to live your life? That was the way how your life was going to be, was your standard? When did you say that you feeling bad about your life, you feeling so controlled by these external forces that are stopping you and holding you back? When did you decide that this was your standard? Ask yourself that if you've been in a rough patch for a long time. And if you're entering a rough patch, or if you've been in a rough patch recently, this question applies in a way as well. Don't decide that this is your standard. Don't decide that this is your home base. Don't decide that this is the place that you'll be living. Know that it's a patch. A patch is a patch. It's just little. It's like this. On my shirt, if I stain this part, it's a stained patch. The whole shirt isn't stained. But of course it's a shirt. If the shirt is stained, you can throw it away, but you can't throw away your life. Your life is a living, breathing thing that's moving. It's an experience. So don't decide that your rough patch is your normal. Don't decide that your rough patch is your standard. You still have agency. You still have you. You can still say, you know what, this is a rough patch. It sucks. I'm still here, but I want to move out of it. I want to move forward. And you're not alone in that. And that's actually one of the tips on the blog. Anyway, the first tip I want to share with you is feel what you feel. If you've recently gone through something, feel what you need to feel. Right? If you need to feel angry, if you need to feel sad, if you need to feel whatever the case is, if you need to feel sorrow or grief, let it run its course. Let the feeling run its course. Acknowledge it. I know I love being positive and positivity, but I am a firm believer in feeling what you need to feel when you need to feel it, so that you can move forward. Because there's that thing of where, the fake it till you make it. Pretend you're happy until you can. That works in some situations, but if something has happened and you're going through a rough patch, feel what you need to feel now. Because if you postpone it, it's it's in the back of your head. It's running, it's running, it's running, it's running, it's running. And when you don't take care of it now, when you don't move it to the forefront and deal with it, you deal with it later. So it comes up in the worst kinds of situations. When you deal with it now, you get the lessons that you need to get, and you can move forward knowing, okay, that's done, it's handled. I can move on to the next phase of my life now. So feel what you need to feel. Acknowledge it. Say, I feel sad. I feel angry. This is how I'm feeling. This is what's happened. Feel it. Recognize it. Call it out. Let it run its course, and then move on from there. That's the second tip. The second tip is don't dwell there. You don't live in that rough patch. You don't live in sadness. You don't live in anger. When I say we were intended to live fully human, we are human beings, honey. We're supposed to experience the entire gamut of human emotion. That sadness, anger, happiness, joy, all of these things we're supposed to, I believe, we're intended to fully feel these things. So, on your way to living more like you, I would say, if you're going to dwell in joy, that's a better choice to make than dwelling in sadness, fear, anger. Pessimists who call themselves realists, I can't. I can't with that. I cannot with that. When I say experience it, I mean experience it. Acknowledge it, look at it. But don't live there. That's not your home. That's not your home. That's not your home. That's not your base. That's not your standard. When you're happy, that's a better feeling to be at. When you're joyful, that's a better feeling to be at. When you've taken care of the demons, the vulnerabilities that you have, and you've embraced them, and you learn from them to move forward, that's a better place to be than in a place where, like, I'm just going to be negative, I'm just going to be sad and angry because the world is much, but then I don't get my hopes up, and no, stop it. Don't dwell in sadness, don't dwell in anger. Look at what you need to look at. Don't dwell there. Know that it's not home. It's just a stop on the way. It's just a patch. It's just a rough patch. The third tip is breathe. It's something that is so important. It's something that I always remind my clients of. Breathe. Breathe. Just breathe. Feel your body. That gets us back to body honor. I have my body honor sign. Body honor is about getting in touch with your body. Body honor is about honoring your body. Your body is experiencing everything that you experience. When you're fatigued, when you're stressed out, you feel tired. Is that not true? You don't feel energized. There are days when you can go, you haven't slept, but you're pumped. You're amped. And it's not because of that monster drink. It's because maybe you got some good news or something really amazing happened to you. And you're excited, you're ready. And your body is ready to take on whatever. But when you're sad and you're lethargic and you're fatigued, your body is down. So body honor is a reminder when you're in getting out of a rough patch. When you're in your rough patch, connect with your body. Breathe. The quickest, easiest way I connect with my body is I breathe. I love yoga. I used to do yoga religiously. And it was so amazing because it just got me in touch with my body and I could just breathe. Breathing is so underrated. It's so underrated. It's something our bodies do naturally. We don't have to think about it. And it's so vital to life. If you're not breathing, you're not living. When you're intentional about your breath, your breathing, you slow down. You focus in on something that you just naturally do because you're a human being. It's something that your body will always do for you as long as it's capable. No matter what's going on in your life, your body will be breathing. So focus on your breath. Just breathe. Breathe through the rough patch until you can get to what's next. Breathe, 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 breathe. Breathe your way to what comes next. Sometimes that's the only thing we can control sometimes. Sometimes it feels like it's the only thing we can control. When something happens, the only thing you can do is breathe. That's my third tip for you. So, on that issue of control, the only thing we ever have control over is ourselves, truly. We can't control other people. We can't always control our circumstances. And it's not easy all the time. It's not easy. Excuse me. The only thing we can ever do for ourselves is to breathe. Now, if you can't even control life all the time, if you can't always have control over yourself, your emotions, sometimes you get angry and you snap. Imagine having to control external circumstances. A rough patch, for the most part, is about external circumstances. Something happened and you have to wait for it to move forward. Something out of your control happened and you just, it's a challenge. Now you have to stop and work your way around it or give up. Depending on whatever it is that you're doing on your road to living more like you, you cannot control your external circumstances. If it's difficult to even control ourselves all the time, imagine trying to control something outside of ourselves. Hard. So don't even try it. You'll knock yourself out. Not in a good way. So feel what you need to feel. Do not dwell there. Do not dwell there. Breathe your way through the next phase. The other 3 tips are on my blog, livelikeyounow.com/blog. And I look forward to sharing more information with you. Tomorrow is going to be a good Periscope. I will be here tomorrow. Sorry about yesterday, but the wedding was amazing, and I wish them both happy, happy years. Thank you so much for watching today, and if you're on the replay, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you taking time to watch this. Have a wonderful weekend.